Hello, everyone. My name is Dylan Heath, and today we'll be talking about three eye opening books that will tug at your heartstrings. It would be easy to say that they are all coming of age stories, which they are, but it doesn't do them justice. What makes these three special is how they all feature main characters who learn to speak up for themselves against adversity. All of our heroes today will start out unsure of themselves as they learn to overcome self doubt and find their voice. That said, the first book we will talk about is Speak, the graphic novel, written by Laurie Halse Anderson and illustrated by Emily Carroll. Imagine losing your voice. Wouldn't it be scary to go through life without being able to speak up for yourself? How would anyone listen? What if they didn't care? Speak is a young adult book based around trauma. The main character, Melinda Sordino, is a high school freshman, and the book mostly takes place at Melinda's high school. It's first person, and this is the graphic novel edition. Here's some of the art. Check this out. The summer before, something horrible happened to Melinda during a party, and she was caught by a friend for calling the police. Everyone at her school treats her like an outcast afterwards, but what they don't know is that she has been the victim of sexual assault. Due to her trauma, Melinda loses her voice and struggles to keep friends. Her only friend is a new student who doesn't know about the incident or why everyone avoids her. Even the adults in her life, including her parents, are unaware of her struggle. Melinda feels utterly alone in her life and doesn't even remember who she is. She can't even look at herself in the mirror. Melinda wants to forget what happened, but at the same time, she wants to tell someone badly about what happened. To make matters worse, her former best friend is dating Melinda's attacker, and Melinda doesn't know what to do. Over time, Melinda learns to express herself through art in her favorite art class. She has to learn to acknowledge what happened and grow as a person. Most importantly, Melinda has to speak up. The original modern classic, Speak, was written in the late 90s and based on the author Laurie Halse Anderson's real-life experience. She suffered a similar situation to Melinda's when she was only 13. This graphic novel adaptation was illustrated by Eisner Award-winning artist Emily Carroll, and it really shines. It brings a new take on an already amazing read. It is written in first person, like I said, and it's kind of like a diary. This graphic novel is about 370 pages, but given its visual style, you can speed through it in one sitting. Here's some more examples of this book's art. If you've already read the book, you should check out the graphic novel as well because the art really works for a book like this. Emily Carroll has a work history of things like horror, through the woods, I think, and she has a really cool online presence. She was a really good fit, in my opinion, for this adaptation. Equal parts scary and uplifting, this is an incredible story you won't forget. You will feel stronger having read Speak the graphic novel by Laurie Halse Anderson and illustrated by Emily Carroll. Another unforgettable story is Grenade by Alan Gratz. Imagine being pulled from school right now and joining the army. Would you be ready, or would you wish things were back to normal and how they used to be? Grenade by Alan Gratz is a thriller historical fiction novel set in 1945. World War II is in full swing, and America is sending its forces to invade a small island called Okinawa, close to Japan. This book has two main characters, a young Okinawan student named Hideki and an American Marine named Ray. Both are just kids and fighting a war that they don't understand. Hideki was just a normal kid until he is put into the Blood and Iron Student Corps to fight for the Japanese army. Guns are limited, and since he is only a kid, he is given a single grenade. He is told not to return until he kills an American soldier. The Americans are getting closer on the island, and everyone Hideki knows is terrified of the stories that they've heard of the Americans as told by the Japanese army. They are supposed to fight for Japan and die for their country or else. Hideki just wants to return to school and live out his life with his father and sister. On the other hand, Ray, a young American Marine, grew up on a farm. He just arrived in Okinawa, and this is his first battle. He's really new to the whole thing, is all I can say. He knows that anyone on the island can be a threat. The enemy can be anywhere. Ray regrets joining the Marines and wants to return home and patch things up with his dad. Both of our main characters fight to survive as they travel through the island. The Japanese army is forcing women and children on Okinawa to be human shields and die fighting for Japan. On the other side, the American army is struggling to tell friend from foe as they face Okinawans and Japanese alike in a place that is alien to them. Neither Hideki nor Ray fully understand why they are fighting in this war, but everything will change when both sides collide. What will happen then? Well, you'll have to find out when you read this book, Grenade by Alan Gratz. As far as speaking up, Hideki must speak up when he sees the injustices brought upon his family and friends by the Japanese army. He also finds that the American army can be cruel as well. He must learn to find his identity as an Okinawan rather, while at the same time bravely fight the invading Americans. He takes it upon himself to preserve the memories of his people and their culture. On the other hand, Ray must learn to speak up when he sees the indiscriminate killing of Okinawans by his squad. He has to convince his superior and the rest of his squad to follow correct protocol when dealing with surrendering forces, including the Okinawans and Japanese. He must also come to terms with his identity as an invading force and how being a soldier changed his own father growing up. He worries if he will be changed as well. This book is 263 pages long, but it's a very quick read because of how suspenseful it gets. Neither characters can get a break as war engulfs the island. Like I said, the enemy is everywhere, and both sides get attacked constantly during the book. If you want a thrilling story based on one of the largest battles of the Pacific Theater, World War II, you won't know who to root for in this book, because both Ray and Hideki feel like real kids you'd be friends with. This book is rated 5 stars, and it's called Grenade by Alan Gratz. If you want a moving book like Speak that is thrilling like Grenade and is also openly hilarious, then Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe by Preston Norton is the book for you. It's a long title, but it doesn't do the book justice with what it's all about. This book is realistic fiction, meaning that the characters are written with real-life problems and real-life personality. This book is set in Happy Valley, Montana, an unremarkable small town in the middle of nowhere. Our main character, Cliff Hubbard, is 6'6" and 250 pounds and is nicknamed Neanderthal in high school due to his large stature. Cliff has been through a lot in the past year ever since his older brother committed suicide. Between his rough home life at the trailer park and being bullied at his high school, things can't get any worse. However, things start to get really weird when Cliff's biggest enemy, star quarterback Aaron Zimmerman, suffers a near-death experience. After being in a coma, Aaron returns to school and tells Cliff that he saw God and he was given a mission to make Happy Valley High School a better place. God had given Aaron a list, and the only person who could help him accomplish this task was selected to be Neanderthal, Cliff. Oddly enough, Cliff agrees. Throughout this book, Cliff and Aaron go through their list and confront an ensemble cast of memorable characters at their high school. This includes Cliff's mean English teacher, local drug dealers, a bully, a secret computer hacker, and a group of Christian teens that have taken over the school. Over time, Cliff begins to find his voice and become a part of something bigger than even him. Cliff learns to speak for everyone at his school as he tries his best to make everyone remember that we are all in the same universe. This book will make you laugh and cry. This is Preston Norton's debut novel, but it is clearly written by someone who loves science fiction and pop culture. By the way, there are a lot of pop culture references in this. It's 410 pages, but you won't be able to get enough once you start reading it. There's even some romance in here. It is rated 5 stars. This book, by the way, is Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe by Preston Norton. In conclusion, all 3 of these books share a main character who must learn to speak up for themselves and others against adversity. In Speak, the graphic novel by Laurie Halse and illustrated by the Eisner Award-winning artist Emily Carroll, Melinda has to find her voice after suffering trauma by a sexual predator and prevent someone else from suffering a similar fate. In Grenade, by Alan Gratz, Hideki must speak up for himself and his people and find his identity amidst a devastating war. Ray, the American soldier and the other main character in this book, must speak up for himself amongst his squad and convince them to take prisoners and show compassion for others. Finally, in Neanderthal Opens the Door to the Universe by Preston Norton, Cliff must speak up for his school and find his place in a bigger world. All 3 of these young adult novels are worth the read and will move you to the core. Thank you for watching.